Hi everybody, Armine Bazikyan here from Bazikyan Law Group. This month I wanted to discuss or answer the question of what is a trustee? This term gets thrown around a lot when we're discussing trusts, and I wanted to clarify what that actually means for some of you that may not know. So a trustee is the person that's named in a trust to actually hold on to the assets for the benefit of another person. And before we delve into the details of what a trustee does, I want to actually discuss the structure of an actual trust because I think it'll be helpful to understand this role of the trustee. So a trust has three components. The first person involved in a trust is the person that creates the trust. The second individual involved is the beneficiary, and the third is the trustee, the person in charge that's going to hold on to an asset for the benefit of this beneficiary. So for example, we have John who created a trust for his daughter, Anna, and she's the beneficiary. John decides to name his best friend, George, as trustee of Anna's trust. So when John passes away, George will step up to the plate as the trustee, and he will hold on to whatever it is that John owned in the name of the trust for the benefit of Anna. So let's say there was just a house that was in the name of the trust. George will actually take that house and transfer it over to Anna's name. He will fulfill his role as trustee, if that's what the trust says, for example. But it's not only in the scenario of an actual death where George would come into his role as trustee. George may actually step up to the plate to do his work as trustee if, for example, John is incapacitated. He's mentally or physically not able to do whatever it is that he would normally do for his own finances. At that point, George, as the successor trustee, would also come in and help John, deal with his finances, pay his mortgage, do whatever needs to be done to make John live comfortably. So those are the two scenarios that we're envisioning where the trustee would step in and do his, quote, job, end quote. So the trustee has many roles that he's going to fulfill. He owes the beneficiary a duty of loyalty as well as care, a duty of care. So he can't use these assets for his own benefit. He can't mix them with his own assets. He can't take money from the trust for himself. He is in no way a beneficiary. He's just simply safeguarding everything for the benefit of Anna, the beneficiary. Now, some people don't name a friend as trustee. That's one option. But a lot of times people will name either a child, a grandchild, a sibling, a parent for the younger generation. So usually a family member is named as trustee, and oftentimes that same family member is also the beneficiary. So if Anna is responsible enough, John can decide to actually name Anna as the trustee of the trust, and she will also be the beneficiary. But in general, the trustee has to safeguard the assets. He has to make sure that, that property for Anna, for example, has insurance on it, that it's clean, that the gardening is done. He may rent out that property. He may decide to allow Anna to live in the property if the trust allows it, for example, if that was one of John's wishes. So George actually has to do whatever John wanted, pretty much. But he doesn't do these things on his own. For example, because the gardening needs to be done, he's not out there mowing the lawn himself every week. He's allowed to delegate some of his duties to other professionals. So he can delegate the gardening to a gardener, and he can pay that gardener using trust money to come weekly and garden and mow the lawn every week, for example. The same goes for hiring an attorney, hiring a CPA. He's not administering this trust alone. He'll be able to hire an attorney to help him administer the trust after John's death. He'll be able to hire an attorney to file the tax returns for the trust. So he can delegate some of these roles, but for the most part, he's going to be the person in charge, the signatory on all accounts, the person that has to sign off that deed on that house to transfer it into Anna's name. So let's back up to our example. So for example, let's say that John doesn't want the property to be transferred to Anna immediately. Let's say he puts an age provision and says, George, I want you to give this property to my daughter at the age of 25. I think that's a responsible age. And John passes away when Anna is 21 years old. So for that short number of years, George actually has to do all these things. He has to possibly rent out the property, maintain insurance on it, manage that asset until Anna becomes 25 years old, at which point George would sign over the deed into Anna's name. So in a nutshell, those are essentially, the general responsibilities of a trustee. There's more details to discuss, but for brevity of this video, we're going to keep it short. If you're named as trustee of someone's trust, or you have any other questions related to the role of trustee, feel free to give our office a call. We are more than happy to discuss this very, very important role in the trust framework and help you figure out either how to do your job as trustee, how to administer a trust, or if you are thinking of creating an estate plan yourself, we will definitely walk you through the best individuals to name for this role. We provide free consultations, so take advantage of that and give our office a call to schedule an appointment today. Thank you. Bye-bye.